Hey everybody, Nicole here with Repairs First Association. I am the Chief Training Officer, and with me I have Reggie, who is a current RFA member, he's so awesome. I mean, so many people in the industry. You actually, I own Cellbotics also. He actually took our course years ago, around 2020. I don't, you just said the year, and look at this. This right here.
October 2020.
There you go. I was gonna say 2020, but I was like, I'm gonna get that wrong. Okay, so let's get right into it. The goal of this video is to showcase how RFA can actually benefit a shop owner. Reggie is a full-fledged shop owner he's going on 5 years coming up in May. This video is recorded November 4th, 2024. He is not new, he is not 1 month in, he is legitimately running a repair shop, has employees. So we're going to hear from him how RFA has helped him. And we are not paying him for this. He actually just reached out and said, I would just love to help you guys out and give you a review. And so that just means everything to us. So, all right, Reggie, give us a little bit of history about who you are, your business, maybe your background a little bit, just a little bit of like when you started, that kind of stuff, and what your business is doing now. So just give us a rundown.
Gotcha. Okay, so my name is Reginald Wright,
Mhm.
co-owner of Mr. Mobile Solutions here in Ocala, Florida. We fix phones, unlock them, activate them, sell accessories, all that beautiful stuff. And you want me to talk about RFA and when I joined? Is that what you want me to go
Yeah, no,
about?
I'll do that next. Let's talk about how long have when did when did you start your store?
Store opened January 20th of 2020,
Okay.
was the exact date. So we're coming up on 5 years, January 20th of 2025.
And you
Um,
initially started as an activation store,
as an activation store, we sold
Mhm.
devices for a major prepaid carrier.
And
And
you have experience in that side of the industry.
yep.
And then you added repair through tinkering, and then you eventually took a Cellbotics course. How long from you started as an activation store to when you added repair? Like a year or 2 years?
About a year and 6 months when we
A year
officially
and six
went.
months.
Like we were tinkering, we were fixing it
Mhm.
a little bit, but we officially rebranded May of 2021. So about a year and 6 months, a year and 4 months to be exact.
Nice. Okay. And you have two employees. You and your
Hmm.
wife also work out of the store, but your wife, you guys are definitely entrepreneurs. And so you guys are getting into other things too, but your store runs smoothly. You are profitable, right? And you've
Hmm.
got the kinks worked out, but this is a legitimate repair shop. Okay. So I just want to make sure that they understand that. So,
Oh yeah, legitimate
um,
shop. You can look us up online.
yeah,
You can call our
exactly.
store. We'll answer the phone. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Go to the
we're a
GRE
legitimate
and just
shop.
see you walking around and
Yeah,
say hi.
I'm in the store now. So yeah, we're definitely legit.
That's right. That sign is nice back there, even though it's blurred out.
Thank you. I know I blurred it out. I shouldn't have.
That's okay. No, I can tell it looks nice. Okay, so yeah, let's get right into it. So what if you're watching this, you don't know what RFA is, or you're just hearing about it. Repairs First Association is an association created by the original founder of cell phone repair, CPR. So cell phone repair. If you've not gotten a phone fix before, you might not know who they are. But if you know this brand, this is one of the world's, next to UBIF, largest franchise cell phone repair companies. It's CPR, it's cell phone repair. I mean, it's the red little cross. So the person who founded that, who started that back in the 90s, is Jeremy Kwiatkowski. He actually got into I don't know I don't have it memorized, even though he's my business partner and he's the founder. Him, Brad, and Brian, they all were a part of building CPR. So they ended up building it up to 500 locations and ended up selling it. Jeremy sold it. And then Brad and Brian actually were on his team through that process of building CPR. They worked for him. So when he sold CPR, Jeremy's vision was, let's make an association. Okay. And the motto is, and don't hold me to that story because I get dates wrong and stuff like that. But you can find it all online. Their bios are on there. But then Jeremy's like, let's do an association. And the motto is going to be franchise level support without the franchise fees. And that's exactly what RFA is. It's if you were to have a franchise, you would have like discounts and training and support. Well, you get all of that with RFA, but you don't have franchise fees. You just have a subscription, which is $69 a month. It's a membership fee. Okay. Which is like less than coffee for a week these days. Let me tell you, God, Starbucks is stealing my wealth. And so they started RFA
Yeah.
together, and they grew it. And then I was a member for 3 years, and then they approached me about joining because I had all these skill sets, and they wanted to kind of add on training as a whole feature for members. And so they brought me on board, and fast forward to today, it's been years I've been working with them. And these three guys, and you might not know them, Jeremy, Brad, and Brian, again, look up their bios on the website. And if you come to the Gadget Repair Expo or you call into the RFA and you talk to Brian, these three guys are legitimate. I mean, they know what they're doing. I
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
put my name behind them. Like, I wouldn't. And they're very down to earth. Um, what Jeremy did is not imaginary, right? And Brad and Brian worked for him. They were building out stores. Like, this is before cell phone brands had franchises. This is the first cell phone repair brand that was a franchise. And I mean, they were out there like going to the cities where the stores were opening and putting up the drywall and helping paint. You know what I mean? Like, it was like real nitty gritty. And they built that. Jeremy privately owned 8 locations, and then he franchised to reach 500. And that's huge, huge. 500 cell phone repair shops nationwide, and then sold it. Okay. Sounds like a freaking success to me. Anybody else say something different? I don't know.
Big time.
So these guys behind Repairs First Association, they know what you need because they've been in your shoes, right? And then Brian himself owned like 10 locations. So, you got to learn about them. Look at my background too, before you just assume that this is just some sort of like fake label association, because that's not what this is. Okay. Um,
Nah, not at all.
not at all. So, Reggie, when you heard about RFA, when did you hear? I don't know how you heard about it. Did you hear about it through our course, or was it sometime
No,
after?
I
Yeah.
don't think it was through the course. I heard
Yeah, I
about
don't
it.
think so either.
We were looking at Akko,
Okay. I'll
the
go
insurance
insurance. Yeah.
company.
Mm-hmm.
So we reached out to them.
Mm-hmm.
This was like we knew we were getting ready to. We had already talked to buying out our contract with our national prepaid carrier and just going on our own. So we were like, hey, we need phone insurance. We need some sort of insurance. That was a thought and a business model that I saw. We researched a couple different ones, and we landed on Akko as the choice we wanted to go with. So we reached out to them, and through them, we actually found out that we had to be a member of the RFA. So we had a conversation with Brian. It was probably, I expected it to be a 10-minute conversation. It probably was an hour and a half.
I love that
That
man. He loves to
man,
talk.
that man was dropping gems.
Yeah.
He was telling me some stuff that I hadn't even
Yeah.
begun to think about.
Yeah.
And again, it was a pretty quick transition. It was like, oh, let's do it. So they have a
Yeah.
process where they have to vet your store, make sure you're a good store in order to join. They look at your Google reviews, they go through your warranty. It's a real association. You have to offer
Yes.
something, you have to have a standard to meet it. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was cool. So when I first joined in 2021, it ain't nowhere near what it is now. It'd be a no-brainer now if I was joining with all the discounts, with all the
Mm-hmm.
partnerships, with all the agreements with everyone. I would have joined in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Now, but back then it wasn't that. But they've built it up since then, and I don't
Oh
believe a
yeah.
GRE had happened yet either, if I'm not mistaken,
No.
at that point.
Mm-mm.
So we joined and we
Yeah.
became very involved in it. We became very focused
And I
on
want
what the
to
association adds.
I want to clarify a little bit. So the vetting process that you're talking about is because if you are a shop and you want to sell ACO coverage out of your store, okay, you have to be vetted by RFA for ACO to allow you on their network, okay? So you have to have a store and a certain rating. And Brian, when he talks to you, has to feel like you're ethical when it comes to repair. Like if you say something like, I'll put the cheapest screen in there. I don't care. I don't care if there's issues. I don't care. Like he's not going to want to hear that because he wants to know that you're going to take care of the ACO customers. On the flip side, if you're somebody that doesn't have a store yet or is just starting out and you're not ready to sell ACO, you can still go to rfamembers.com and become a member. And it's not like a vetting process for that so much. It's when you want to join ACO is when you really have to have that, because that's RFA. What we guarantee ACO is quality shops. Not just everybody can sell ACO. That's basically what it is. But if you're just starting out and you're like, okay, I want to be a member because, I know that I'm going to be in this industry. I'm going to grow my business and I need help. I need to be on masterminds. I want to surround myself with other shop owners. I want to take the training. So you might not be where you need to be yet vetted wise for ACO, but that's okay. You can still be an RFA member, take care of the benefits, and grow yourself. So that's kind of where that came in. So I want to clarify just a little bit of that.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that part. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then which benefits have you found most beneficial to you? Like, have you used everything? Some people haven't yet. I mean, we've got training, discounts, masterminds, operations
Well,
support where you can call Brian and ask questions.
definitely, I could name three off top for sure.
Mhm.
ACO, that's been a huge one for us. The training with Cellbotics, the discount that was offered through the training with Cellbotics, we take advantage of, and then
Mhm.
also the SOPs. For anyone that doesn't know, operating procedures, how things are done. We actually had a call with Brian, and Brian shared with me every single SOP file he had. It was
Wow,
a thing of beauty. And we
that is
built out
awesome.
we built out some SOPs around that.
That's
So
awesome.
it's pretty much, I feel like it helps you run the business. There's
Mhm.
not a whole lot of things to help independent shops out there as far
Mhm.
as how you run your business. Like anybody can fix a screen, anybody can talk to a customer, but there's still some back end operation stuff that a lot of us have to work on and that we may fall short on. And that's kind of where, I look at Brian and
Yeah.
repairs first of making sure that the
Yeah.
operations is tight, making sure
Yeah,
those things
and
are good.
as far as like the training piece that comes with it, it's not just for you. So your team also gets a login. So if you have
Hmm.
employees, you can easily sign them up. And there's SOP training, there's repair training, of course, but there's like how to answer a phone training. Uh, you
Hmm.
know, which is very valuable if someone's not used to answering a phone for a repair shop or they're not very good at it, which it's a fun course, but it's also learning. So there's a lot of different content in there. When it comes to the discounts, we have special rates worked out with tons of vendors. And then even if you're a shop that buys higher volume, Brian will actually say, okay, you're already getting discounts. Let me see what else I can get for you. So like if we would go above and beyond, right? You get a gadget repair expo ticket each year, which is $99.
Hmm.
There's masterminds, which I think is really key for me. I'm someone that likes masterminds because I like to hear what other people are doing that works. And so we do once or twice a month, we do masterminds where it'll be like a different topic. So like how to increase sales, you know what I mean? Or and then like our last mastermind was about franchising. If you were going to decide to go into franchising, what would that look like? And then we record all of them and they go on our member portal. So I just want to, make sure that everybody understands there's a lot of aspects to RFA instead of just discounts, which discounts are a big thing because that also covers your $69. Because you talk about ACO, selling ACO out of your store, I'm assuming has been good for you.
Just
Yes.
filed a claim. Just filed a claim on Saturday. Like, I see at least 4 or 5 claims. I would say in a week, sometimes
Nice.
more, just depending on
And
what's
that's
going
claims
on.
coming to you that you've sold
That
or that.
that we've sold. Yeah, those are claims that we've
Hmm.
sold. Those are
Nice.
customers coming in. That's repairs that people aren't gonna have to pay that high sticker price on. They're just
Hmm.
paying the deductible, whatever that amount is. And then
Nice.
obviously ACO reimburses us for the difference.
That's great. Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody gets that. And then also, what would you say? So the $69 a month, how do you justify that? Now, I know some of our vendors will actually give you $69 a month if you use their services, like RTO Mobile. If you finance devices with their software, they reimburse you. But other vendors are giving you like 3%, 5%, off of all of your orders, every order, not just one order. If
Hmm.
you're ordering, you know, from a couple different vendors every month, you're gonna, with the discounts, you're gonna save more than $69. So how do you justify it, Reggie? That extra expense, $69 a month.
Can I be honest?
Hmm.
I can be honest, right? I don't even think about it. Like
I know.
it's I don't even think about the discounts. Like when I signed up, none of that stuff existed. I knew I needed to offer insurance and I knew I needed
Yeah.
some help how to run our business. This was a
Yeah.
this was a venture that we had no idea of. So like that $69 for us is been so worth it. Probably the best
Yeah.
$69 we've spent because it has helped us in so many other avenues make money on other sides and save money.
Yeah. And
So
be connected with
and
people
be
and have
connected with
someone to
people. And
call.
I mean, you guys are amazing. Like
Thank
you guys
you.
answer the phone. If I shoot y'all a text, me and Brian
Yeah.
book a meeting appointment.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other thing that even at, most support and most, I guess no one here has dealt with franchise fees. And to a degree, we've
Right.
dealt with it
Yes.
with our other carriers. So this is like a breath of fresh
That's
air.
where
This
you're
is,
a little
yeah,
different. So
yeah.
you've dealt with franchise
I've,
fees. You
I've
actually owned a franchise.
I've dealt with some fees and some back end stuff and some small print stuff and you
Yeah.
know dealt with, man, I'm giving them this money and what am I getting type thing. I'm the one doing the
Yeah.
work. So for $69 to be able to get support and help and how to operate your business or be connected with people that can help, or
Yeah.
anytime they sign some new agreement, you get an email saying, hey, these people, welcome here, and let me just look into it and see if it can help us.
Yeah.
That
I love
that has
that.
been a game changer. So I'll be honest, I don't even think about the $69.
I didn't
It's
either.
it's one of those things where I feel like for that price and for what we get, like if we sell 7 Akko, we made it back the following month
Yeah.
as an example. So like I don't even think about it. It's not even a
Okay.
thought that I have.
I respect that because when I was paying for the membership also, I never thought about it either. I just paid it because
Never.
it was so valuable. Like, and I think what happens sometimes with members that maybe struggle with it, they're not using it the way they should. So they should be reaching out when they're in their shop and they're like, man, this is not going well. Shoot an email. Can someone get on the phone with me? I'm having this issue. Or, I just hired a person. Let me sit down and train them. No, put them on the Cellbotics training first, then train them. So
Hmm.
use your benefits, use your discounts, reach out and talk to one of us. Then you're going to realize how the $69 doesn't mean anything at all. And that was me. I used Brian, Brad, and Jeremy so much when I was a member that they got to know me really well. And then they would have like little projects and like, hey, do you know? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, what do we pay? And I'm like, no, I just want to work with you guys, like whatever, you know what I mean? And then
Hmm.
that's eventually how we built such a close relationship. And that's how I got brought on the board. In addition to, they wanted access to have Cellbotics training for all members, right? In a big way, not a small way. They had to invest in that. That wasn't free. It's like they don't have all that they have with Cellbotics. Like we're like partners. They don't have that for nothing. They take money and they invest in it. It's just like the micro soldering courses. I mean, this stuff is not free. They had to pay for members to get this stuff. Members have free
Hmm.
micro soldering training, free online, refurb training. This stuff they invest in it for the members. And so yeah, I didn't think about it either. But I think if someone needs to justify $69, how am I going to break that up? Think about it like on a daily thing. You know what I mean? Like if you
Oh
say,
God,
yeah, by 30 days, that's $2 and
that's
30
two
cents
dollars
a
a
day.
day. Yeah, it's like $2 a day.
$2.
That's it.
If you can't justify $2.30 a day, you're probably not doing very well in business anyways. I
And you
mean, you
definitely need
probably
it.
need help.
I have a thing where like my wife knows this. Like we'll talk about Akko for
Mhm.
a second, but I
Yes, go
always
ahead.
say if someone can afford to pay for that screen replacement, then they can't afford to have it not to have insurance. Because that next time they come, it's still a 150, it's 180, 230, whatever we're charging for that repair. But if they've got
Mhm.
some sort of protection on their device, $29 when they walk in. That's a lot less of a bite. And I make sure to like elaborate that to the customer because sometimes when you're talking to customers, and I'm gonna use other shops as customers, like they're
Right.
RFA customers, you've got
Mhm.
to elaborate to them like, hey man, if you don't have your process and things in place, you can't
Yeah.
afford to not have it in place. Like
Mhm.
you need it in place yesterday. Like the urgency
Mhm.
of getting it in place is so much
Yeah.
more important when you don't have it in place. Like it's a scary feeling walking in and you got sticky notes on all your phones because you're not using a POS system, or things
Right.
that you need to operate and run your shop you're not using because you just haven't got out of your own way.
You haven't
But
got out of your own way and you haven't connected with people that have a vast
that can help
experience
you.
level. And not just that, it's not that RFA we know it all. It's not the board members know everything. It's that we have accumulated information from all different types of people. So
Hmm.
like we have hundreds, like over 900 members now. Brian has spoke to every single one. So as much as he's giving information, he learns too, and he adds that to his toolbox to then turn around and be able to say, hey, there's a member that's doing this. This is really cool. And these are the meetings that we have. These are the things we constantly, weekly, we meet as board members. It's okay. What is next for the repair industry? How can we help? What is something that we can do? What is a topic we can talk about? And so, yeah, if you feel like I'm not doing well enough for $69, then you most definitely need to pay the $69, get on the phone with Brian,
Hmm.
say, my business is shit. What can you do to help me? Because I've seen Brian, I've seen Brian negotiate leases, I'm going to be very transparent here. When I was an RFA member, a couple years in, I needed to get out of a lease and I was terrified. Jeremy actually got on the phone with me and was like, don't sweat it. Here's a letter. It was drafted by an attorney prior before for another store. We're going to change a couple of things here. We're going to kind of word it out a little bit differently. But we had like an example and he had experience, and he helped me write this very professional letter. He wrote it for me and then sent it and then called after and was like, right, does this sound okay to you? Add in any details there. You're going to be okay. And just having someone else to tell me I was going to be okay, because as a business owner, nobody does that unless
Oh yeah.
you may have like you have a spouse that's supportive, but even she probably looks to you sometimes for confirmation and is like, are we going to be okay? You know, but imagine you being the top of the food chain, which I am pretty much top of the food chain when it comes to me and my life. Like, I'm a single mom. There's no boyfriend in the background. There's no husband. I have partners now. Thank God. Thank God I am partnered with Brian, Jeremy, and Brad. Because now I go to them with things like, you're fine. Everything's going to work out. But before that, I was alone. It was like being in the desert, and like, am I going to find water? Can somebody just tell me there's water around here? And so I personally have experience where I was in a very, very scary situation where I thought I was going to get sued by the landlord because I needed to get out
Wow.
of this lease. I was having big issues at the location, like really big issues. And I needed to get out of this lease that was pretty new into a 3-year lease. And they helped me get out of it, not just with the letter, but with just emotional support and be like, hey, it's going to be okay. If they do sue you, we're here to give you tips. We've actually been through that. We've been sued, so we know what to expect. And I
Hmm.
was just like, felt like even now with me breathing, I felt like bricks lift off my shoulder, like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought. You know what I mean? But I never would have had that if I wasn't an RFA member. So
Yeah.
like you said, if you're not doing well enough to justify $69, you probably need it. And then lay it out. Stop with your ego, right?
Hmm.
I think some shop owners have an ego and they don't want to just say, this is what I'm
I,
dealing with.
I think that's it. I think it's human nature. I think it takes a level of ego to be an entrepreneur
Right.
and crazy faith, as a lot of people like to call it, crazy faith, to open a shop, to go through the process. And then once you get there and it's not working, that same thing that got you there is almost like a hindrance to you if you're not careful, if you don't humble yourself. It's almost like a hindrance, like, oh my God, I don't no, I got this. I can do this. I got this. I don't need
Right.
anybody. I don't need to learn how to fix better. I don't need to go to class. It's always this blind
Right.
faith in ourselves when at the end of the day, like, you know,
Yeah.
there's going to be different things that we're going to need throughout the journey to navigate this water. There's going to be years where we're doing wonderful. Then there's going to be years where you're not having as good a years, and you're going to need to reinvent yourself a little bit. And I think for a lot of us, we've got to be flexible. So the shop
And
owners, you just got to be flexible.
I agree with you. I agree with you. When you say reinventing yourself, like adding new types of services, learning new skill sets, learning something like refurb or micro soldering. And then also a big thing for me. So owning Cellbotics and multiple companies, because I do own multiple companies, and then being a part of RFA, it is a lot going on. But that didn't happen. It just by chance. So years ago, I mean years, Michelle. So it was like 2015, I bring Michelle on. But at that time, I was doing everything: bookkeeping, printing, cleaning the space, setting up the desk, doing the online website, doing the ads, everything alone. Okay. And
God bless you.
I had cell phone shops prior to that. And I did have some staff, but none of them did office stuff. So I was running all these shops that were out of flea markets in different states. Oh, it was terrible. But I felt like I was doing all of it myself because my thing was I had to have a certain amount of salary money set aside for someone before I could bring someone on. And then my other mind would be like, but you know how to do it all, so you should just do it. And it was like these two little demons. Well, like 2015, Michelle was like, I'm retiring. And prior to that, she's like, I'm going to retire. We had met, and her company actually sent her to copy my course. Long story. But so when I retire, I'm going to come work with you. And I was like, yeah, right. In my mind, I can't afford you. Again, this limiting belief. And then 2015, she contacts me and I'm like, fuck it. Let me just bite the bullet. I need someone else. I need to expand. I can't expand on my own. I'm only one person. I didn't have the money to bring her on. What I did is I brought her on. I bit the bullet. I gave my money away. I took less, brought the bullet, brought her on. And then, wow, I realized that is the moment I had like a shift in who I was. I realized you bring things on like services, programs, people, and then the increase comes.
Hmm.
So look at it that way. Instead of like, I I need a VA, but I don't see where I can cut the money out for the VA. I just have to keep doing it until I have the money. No, hire the VA, cut it out of your money, and then increase. It's just like the membership. Get the membership, use the benefits. That's the big key. Stop signing up for memberships that you
Hmm.
don't use. Use them, and the increase will come. It is guaranteed.
Definitely.
There is no way it can't. Okay,
Oh yeah.
the association is structured that way. So that's how I
Yeah, and
feel about
you're buying back your time, like
it.
to
Yeah.
go and like do what we do
Mhm.
best as entrepreneurs. Like we all became entrepreneurs because we're great at being able to gain resources, accumulate
Mhm.
assets, accumulate customers. Like we're good at those things. So like I look at it like if I got free time and I'm off on an off day sometimes, I'm going around doing marketing. Like I'm going around
There
dropping
you
off
go.
cards, hitting up stores, hitting up people, trying to get connected with certain
You
shops.
are have stepped into what I call the creator.
Hmm.
You are the creator of the, not God, but like of your entity, of your
Hmm.
business. You sit way up here and the business is running, but your mind is to say, what's next? What's scaling? What can I network with? And that's where I'm at now. I'm in my creative space. I don't do mundane tasks. If I can give it away, if someone else can be taught how to do it, is given away. And that is lots of what you do can be given away to someone else, you
Oh
know?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my job is to figure out how to increase. Where are we increasing? Where are we getting better? What needs to be redone? And then assign someone to that. I'm like this overall looking at the top from this, like there's this big umbrella and I'm sitting on top of it and all of these moving parts are below me. And I'm kind of manipulating them and moving them around. And what do I need to do next? And who needs to be doing what next? And do we need this other person? And I feel like that's where most business owners need to end up. You're not in the mundane task of let me order paper from Office Depot. You know what I mean? You eventually have to get up out of that so then you can increase your wealth and really look down on everything and say, okay, and it's like a game of battleship. You know what I mean? Like you got all these
Oh yeah.
pieces going around. So RFA is like one big step in that for repair shops. I really love talking to people that are like, no, I don't need it, or I not, and I'm like, get on the phone with me, because I'm going to show you where you need it.
Yeah, and they can tell you can tell them to call me anytime.
I'll send it to
You got my
you.
information, send them to me. I got you. Yeah, because a lot of times they want to
Um,
hear it from other repair shops. So,
they do,
I'll
they
let them know.
do. And that's why I appreciate you doing this recording with us. Because you've been a member for years. So thank you so much. What's your experience been like interacting with other RFA members and the board members, which you already talked about a little bit? But have you met other members like at the Gadget Repair Expo and stuff?
I probably have other members we don't really talk about it, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I'd
Hmm.
assume a lot of people are in it based on the
Hmm.
900 count. I wasn't sure what it
Yes.
was when I signed up,
Hmm.
but I mean, I think we carry ourselves with a certain level of unity.
Hmm.
There's a certain level of understanding that we're all kind of striving towards the same goal, which is to help independent shops become more
Yeah.
professional, more serious, present better,
Hmm.
and provide a proper service to our customers. You know,
Hmm.
I have a saying in my city, like, I'm not going to get every single person, but I just hope everyone's operating among the same integrity. Because guess what?
Hmm.
That customer may go to that shop and get burnt, and they may never ever go to another repair shop again.
This right here.
And that does happen. So I don't want like I'll just throw out a standard, stereotype in our industry. I don't want the repair shop guy jacking up phones and doing bad work and
Gas
taking
station
screws,
guy
and
that's got a
gas station
kiosk next
guy
to the
that
cash
got a
register.
kiosk. Like, I don't want those guys. I want those guys to operate with integrity. Like I do.
Mhm.
Like I really truly do. Because if somebody goes there, they may end up at me next week. They may end
Mhm.
up at another place just because, there is a lot of movement that goes on in the industry with customers. Something
Yeah.
I repair is not going to always stay with me. I'm well among the reality. Now, I've got things that can help that stay with me, ACO,
Mhm.
things like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always stay with me. And I'm totally fine with that, as long as, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing on their end.
And I will tell you, so the board members of Repairs First Association also started the Gadget Repair Expo, and all members get a free ticket. So you're running into a lot of members and probably just don't realize it. But then we also have masterminds where you get to talk to the other members, and then also the Facebook group. So we do have a Facebook group where members kind of chat and stuff like that. But exactly like you're saying, you guys are out here running your businesses. So, you're not gonna be chatty, chatty all the time, because you're out here, you're running legitimate businesses. Um, would you recommend RFA membership to other repair shop owners? Is there, I mean, we've talked about it already, but would you, why, it's kind of a summary at the end at this point.
100%. SOPs, I
Hmm.
think everyone needs them. We all need
Yeah.
ways of operating our business, and we all need help and support. I
Yeah.
would for sure say ACO 100% of the time. That's going to pay
Mhm.
for whatever you need to pay. Just sell 7 in a month and your membership's paid for every month.
Right.
Just set a go over.
And
If
you
you're
get
worried
return
about it,
customers.
just you get return customers. You'll see over time, like, okay, why did I hesitate? If you're hesitant,
Mhm. Yes.
I really think it comes down to, you know, looking yourself in the mirror and wanting to operate at the best possible version of yourself and your business. And you need support for that. There's no way you're going to have time in the day to look up every single thing you need to know to operate your business, or to look up every
Right.
single vendor you need to know to operate, or get connected with every single vendor. You're just not going to have that time.
And you don't know
RFA
what you
connects
don't
you.
know.
Exactly. Your RFA is
How
going to
can you
connect
search
you.
something when you don't even know it? To how to,
You can't.
you don't know what you don't know. YouTube is a great tool when you know what you're looking for. The
Hmm.
internet is a great tool when you know what you're looking for. But when you don't even know what you don't know, you know what I mean? That's why they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That's
You're
how
in the
I live
wrong
my
room.
life. I
In
hate
the
when I
wrong
go somewhere
room.
and it's like, oh shoot, everybody's looking at me like I'm the expert. Oh God, I'm in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong room, big time. Yeah, I agree 100% with you.
Exactly. Um, is there anything else you would like to say about RFA? We've talked a lot about it. Definitely, if you're not an RFA member, check it out. You can do a discovery call with Brian. I will say this. Brian Ahern is amazing. I feel like Brian and Jeremy, Brad, so it's Brad Broom, Jeremy Kwatursky, and Brian Ahern. They don't get enough credit because they're not like showboat kind of people. They're not online with videos. They're not YouTubers. They're legitimate business owners, and they kind of like they're just I'm here to talk to you. I'm going to help you. They're every week we're meeting about how to help members, but they're not the face. Like it's kind of like me. Like I'm different. Like I'm very like in your face on video everywhere. They're more silent, and I'm always like they don't get enough credit for everything that they do.
Oh yeah,
Jeremy's considered the founder, the godfather of the repair industry. Like he's the first repair shop owner ever in the United States. It's a big deal. So like if you want to work with people that really know the industry, all you have to do is become a member and then say, "Hey, I have these questions. Can one of you get on the call with me?" It's so easy. And then
definitely.
utilize your benefits.
Oh yeah,
Anything else you want to say before we end this
yeah,
call?
yeah. I'm definitely gonna talk about Brian. Like,
Let's do it.
I didn't even know I was gonna end up joining the association at one point, but I did see Brian prior to even having a discovery call, and just his interactions online with other repair owners, shops, his level of professionalism, how he always, because those, listen, we're all in the groups. Let's be honest, we can be real. The group can get nasty at times. It could get vicious. It's a cold world in that group. I love
Cold world
everybody
in
in
the
that
cell
group.
phone groups.
It's cold in these groups because we're dealing with some real people. A lot of people in the
Hmm.
repair industry are super real. I appreciate them for it. But
Yeah.
Brian has handled a lot of those situations very well and professional. And I saw that, and I just happened to remember him. And then when I reached out to Akko, they said I need to reach out to Brian, and I was like, oh shoot, I know who that guy is. So
Yeah.
like that made it that much easier and that much cooler to get with him. So
Mhm.
yeah, just listen, if you're do the discovery call, at the very least, do the discovery call, see how it goes. If you schedule it for 30 minutes, be ready to be locked in for an hour, hour and a half.
Locked in.
But it's not gonna be like you're hostage. You're gonna be
No,
learning things and talk to about things that you had never even thought about, because this man has over 20 some odd years of experience in cell phone repair. And then I believe he came from automotive before
he
that,
did.
which is
Mhm.
super similar industries.
Super similar.
As far as I'm
Mhm.
concerned, they're the same industry.
Right.
We just cater to a
Different product.
different type of product. But
Mhm. I mean, he understands serialization, dealing
yeah,
with manufacturers. It's all the same, just different
all
industry.
that, all
Mhm.
that. So I
Yeah.
personally say do
Mhm.
the discovery call.
Yes. You
Can't
will
hurt.
enjoy every moment talking to Brian. And if you expose your needs and you expose your vulnerability, he's not going to tell anybody else. Brian is not a gossiper. He does not say, oh, guess what? I had a discovery call with so and he's struggling with. Never would that come out of Brian's mouth. Brian takes what is told to him very, very seriously, and he is very strong on privacy. So you can lay your cards out. Man, I was doing great. I'm having this, or you can go to him. I mean, we have shop owners that are $1 million shops, that are members. I mean, we have members that, I mean, some of our, two of our members have like over 200 locations that they own. So, we're dealing with people that are just starting, that don't even have a store yet, all the way to people that have a couple hundred locations. So there's a wide range of members, and all of this is private. But if you need help, lay it out. If you don't need help and you're doing freaking awesome, Brian is going to be there. Let's take it to the next level. What can we add? What can we do? What can we scale? What can we implement systematize wise? So if you got multiple locations and you want to have a white label learning management system, that means when they land on your portal, your employees log in, they see your branding, it's your courses. That's included for free if you have more than 10 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much LMSs cost with branding and content included? I'm in the training space.
It's a lot.
Thousands,
Yeah, it's a lot. I've
thousands
seen
a
it.
month. Yeah. So if you have more than 10 locations and you're an RFA member, you get that for free. For free. And I know, because Cellbotics is the one that sets up the back end. So now we're partnered with RFA in a very, very, very close way. And that's why, because RFA invested in that for their members. So if you have 12 locations or 200 locations and your locations become members, you sign them up, you get this whole white labeled branded platform just for you. But we have some members that have like 3 locations, and they pay for 10 subscriptions so they can have an LMS because they're franchising, or because they want to have a branded platform. And it's so cheap. It's like $690 a month with software, tech support, and everything. But that's just one option. If you have one subscription like you do, Reggie, you still get all this training platform and everything. It's just RFA branded, right? If you have a team that you want to get sales training, Brian, you can actually go on the portal and schedule a sales training. Brian will give you a Zoom link. You have your team join it, and he's going to be your sales trainer to your team. So you say monthly, or every other month, I want to have Brian on to get my team pumped up for sales. He's going to get on there and he's going to do a sales training. That's included with your membership. I don't want to say free because it's a membership. That's micro soldering training, all of this kind of stuff, operations masterminds, a GRE ticket. You can getting help looking at contracts. If you're about to sign a contract, or if it's for a space, you're signing a contract on equipment, you're signing a contract to become a franchise, you're starting your own franchise, you're working with an attorney, you can send in your contracts, and Jeremy himself will read the contract and
Mm.
give tips back. So utilize this
Some of
membership
these
is just
benefits I'm
so
not even
valuable.
aware of.
You see, I'm always like, people
Gosh,
just don't know all the benefits.
some of these benefits I'm not even aware of. See what I mean? Like when I signed up in
Yeah,
2021, like a lot of this stuff wasn't there. So yeah, it's to me it's a no brainer now.
and
Like
it's the messaging,
if any
Reggie,
if
for us,
anybody if anybody's on the fence, just put them on the phone with me. I'll wake them up,
Yeah,
because it's like I'll just talk very blunt to them. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what did
yeah,
you spend on coffee this morning? What did you spend at a sweet tea at Dunkin' Donuts? Like, what? Like, come on, let's be real. Did you go to Smoothie King this morning? Yeah, all right. Like,
exactly.
dude, is
Did you
that an
stop at
everyday thing?
McDonald's and buy
Like,
one sandwich? You paid more than
like
your daily fee for RFA.
I'm gonna take it back a little bit for some of the people in college that were at Taco Bell with the $2 meal from Taco Bell with the taco, the chips, and the drink. That's every day. You just save that money and you good. Like that's silly to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a lot there. And to your point, Reggie, of members knowing about all the benefits when they do their call, Brian go through it. And then we're constantly like trying to send out emails and let people know, hey, we're adding on stuff all the time,
Hmm.
and just utilize those benefits, but we're getting so much better at it. So but yeah, I think that we're good. I think we've talked about everything. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and asking to do this for us. It just means
Anytime.
so much to the team. And we talk all the time, so we'll be in touch soon. And I know that you'll be at the Gadget Repair Expo. If you guys are watching this, you want to sign up for Repairs First to get the discovery call, just go to repairsfirst.com. Links will be below the video also. And don't forget the Gadget Repair Expo. If you want to learn more about the industry or meet me, meet Reggie. He'll be walking around there too. You'll see him and his wife. Jeremy, Brad, Brian, we're all at the expo. Everybody you need to know is going to be there. So thanks you guys for watching. Reggie, thank you for being here. And
Thank
I
you.
know we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.